Hey there, you're listening to What the FFF, a show inspired by the FabFitFun Community, where we sit down with experts from our team, founders, and other really cool guests to chat about all things beauty, fashion, fitness, home, and wellness. On today's episode, we have Kiran, who is the founder of Wolven, one of the latest brands in our fall box. All right, let's get to the episode. Hey there, you're tuning into What the FFF. I'm your host, Angela. I'm the head of talent acquisition here at FabFitFun, and we have a very exciting guest joining us today. We have Kiran, who's the founder of Wolven, one of our newest brands in the fall box, and we also have our producing team. We got Steb, we got Ellie, who will also be joining in on the conversation as well. So if you guys have any, other questions in the convo, we would love to get you in the mix.
I tried to do it myself, but then Ellie was like, no, I don't trust you to do it by yourself.
I'm here to monitor him.
Hello. Welcome to What the FFF and FabFitFun. Thank you for coming.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you and your brand represented in the fall box. So for our members, our community, let's have them get to know you a little bit. Tell us about yourself.
So I'm Kiran. I'm founder and CEO at Wolven, but I also do a bunch of other things. Working on some music right now, which we're excited about. Just recorded a couple of singles, which are about to come out.
Oh my goodness.
I do all of the textile art at Wolven. I also am super passionate about sustainability. So doing all the things.
Get you a girl that can do it all.
Let's go.
Literally, let's go. Okay, so we'll have to do a big push at the end so our members can also listen to your music while also being, sustainable and cute and everything.
We got to do it all.
Now I'm wishing that you would have sent us a single so that we could push it live on the pod.
Yeah. But then there would be no surprises.
Oh, okay. True.
We can still add it in.
That is true. This is I love an element of surprise.
Absolutely.
All right, so the heart of today's episode, I feel, is not only the wrap that will be featured in the fall box, but talking about you and the brand, and a big aspect of it is sustainability and fashion. Have you always been interested in that? Is that a recent thing?
No, I've always been really passionate about sustainability. So I actually started Wolven 10 years ago. I've had this business for a long time. It's my first baby, and I love it so much. I was in yoga teacher training when I started the brand, and I was actually in school for fine art at the same time.
Wow.
So I was making paintings, and I was doing yoga teacher training, and I noticed that there's not really representation of Eastern art, which is the birthplace of yoga, in the Western yoga practice. So I wanted to bring that Eastern-inspired art to what we do here.
I love that. And, when you have ideas like that and seeing something that's missing in the market, especially that's something that's very true to yourself, it's one thing to take an idea, but then to actually run with it. Had you always considered yourself entrepreneurial or, thought about having your own business one day?
Absolutely. I think that that's just a core part of who I am. I feel I'm someone who learns better by doing things. So I never really did well in school. I do way better in just I'm going to find out and see and try and we'll just figure it out on the go. So I feel that's my vibe.
I love that.
Me too.
So one of our values at FabFitFun, something that's really important, our sustainability aspect is not only internally for our company, but externally with the brands we work with, the products, our members. A big value in that is celebrating diversity and inclusivity. And what I thought was really exciting and wanted to know more about from you and the brand is, as a female and as a South Asian founder, how has that shaped the way you thought about the brand and the types of products that you wanted to get out there?
Yeah, so I'm half Indian, half Pakistani. And so that in and of itself is kind of a cool mix and a pretty rare mix. My dad is Hindu and my mom is Muslim. And I think something I found growing up with those two cultures is that some of the art is really connected. So in Islam, there's no visual representation of God. There's only Islamic architecture and these beautiful geometric patterns that are how people communicate with divine representation. And then with Hinduism, there are these beautiful mandalas and super colorful culture. So I found kind of integrating those two different types of art as a way to connect the two backgrounds I come from, and then tying that into yoga and spirituality and meditation and wellness are things that have always been ingrained in my life. Like I grew up meditating with my dad before bed every night. Like it's always been a part of my life. So it just felt like the natural combination of everything that I love and like who I am.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. And so, I would be remiss if we didn't get right into as well the product that will be featured in our fall box, which is this beautiful wrap. Could you tell us more about, how this came about? I know that a big part of Wolven is, fashion, but also other things that really make it more well-rounded, like accessories, and then also with like the athleisure brand, like I think like accessories and like this beautiful wrap is like a great example of that. Like tell us more about how you wanted to be, to have something like this as part of like your repertoire.
So I'm so excited about this wrap. I feel like for us, a big part of this product is that it just integrates the wellness piece of our brand, which, really our girl she's on the go, she's going to yoga, she's maybe picking her kids up from school, she's doing a lot. And so beyond just the apparel, having pieces for her that just support her day-to-day life is really important to me and just felt like the natural next step for the brand.
I love that. And so a big part in designing this, like did you decide like what the print would look like? And is this something that you use personally?
I use it all the time. I'm actually obsessed with it. So I use it the most for period cramps because we all need that.
They're the worst.
Who doesn't need that?
Exactly.
They are the worst.
Okay, maybe some of us don't need it.
Wife, but she could use it.
Definitely. Absolutely.
But that's like my go-to. Like I literally just put it like right here, lay in bed, and I'm like good to fall asleep. Feels so good.
So do you do it just like that? Do you put it in the freezer? Do you warm it up? Could it be hot, cold?
So it's hot, cold, which is amazing. I think a big part of our philosophy as a brand is wanting to create things that limit how much you have to buy. So instead of having to go buy a heating pad and then also having to go buy something that's cooling, you have one product, it does both. You can put it in the microwave or you can put it in the freezer. And I love both. So like I'll heat it up in the microwave if I want to use it for cramps, but I'll also put it in the freezer for like an after workout, like ice pack, like recovery type of vibe.
Yeah, I love that. And also it's, not only having something that can do multiple things, but something cute that can do multiple things. Because I've seen some hot, cold things, at Rite Aid, CVS, and they're not as cute as that.
Well, it's like, the hot water bottle that's plastic that you fill up. Like, nobody wants that.
No.
And that doesn't make you feel, I don't know, you just feel like old and not sexy. So this is definitely a vibe, I think, and it made us feel like, okay, we want to introduce things to our customer that, yeah, it's functional, but it's also something you want in your room, and it's cute, and it looks good on your shelf, and it matches the activewear set, and it's just a whole little package.
Exactly. So I feel like, period cramps, like after workouts, I feel like even in the freezer, cold, that would be helpful if I, had a headache, a migraine.
Like behind your neck after even just like a hot day, like we're New York based and oh my gosh, we've been in this crazy heat wave.
Oh, no.
And I literally just like lay on it and I'm like, okay.
All right, so that's something our members definitely need to take advantage of.
Definitely.
I get those post-Mexican food gas cramps. What is it for that?
Is that your period cramps?
Typical guy over here. Yeah.
Typical. And is this design, is that something that like everyone can do? Is this like a FabFitFun exclusive? Like how did you decide like, the coloring or the type of design?
So the Harmony print is a legacy woven print of ours, but this product is one where we partnered with you guys on the coral color, which we're really excited about.
So that's a little special.
It is special. And then we have a cute little apparel capsule coming out too that I think will be available as an add-on for FabFitFun, which we're so excited about. So like the dress I'm wearing, we have in this print. It's like a cute little tennis capsule, which is going to be so cute. We're very excited about it.
I feel like that could also be used for pickleball.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Getting into a little bit more.
Exactly. And then you go to pickleball, you come home, you have your recovery wrap, and you're good to go, and it all matches.
Wow.
I love that. Jinx.
Yeah, it's like I was like, sexy, love it. I think it's amazing. And I think what's so great about these conversations as well, and working with brands with FabFitFun, that, you know, there's like the introductory product of like, okay, we're gonna have this in the box, but then that's just like the beauty of the start of who knows of. So if our members, they want to see more Wolven, once they get to know more about you and the brand, like, you guys should comment below. We should have more things like this, like in our add-on sale and everything. That is amazing. So talk to us more about like just Wolven as a brand, the sustainability aspect of what makes you guys like different and special. And I think that's something that's important to not only FabFitFun, but our members, and like the how the type of company with the sustainability and the climate, that's like, those are really big topics these days. And I think our members like knowing how the brands we work with, how that plays a part in it.
Absolutely. So sustainability has been just at the heart of what we do since day one. I can't imagine making products that aren't impact first. So
Yeah.
I really think about sustainability through every part of the design process. So from our fabrics to climate offsets to just like how we treat our workers, everything that we do is really about people and planet. And that's a huge part of our mission. It always has been. So our fabrics, like the wrap, are made from post-consumer plastic, which is plastic that might otherwise go into landfill. So that's
Bad.
Landfill bad.
Yeah.
Very bad. So great way to create a second life for plastics.
Yeah, because I, you know, really thinking about it and like doing more research on the topic of like fashion, like really does play a big part in like a role of, I saw that accounts for like 10% of global carbon emissions. And so you guys have done so many things to make sure like your products and your brands are really like walking the walk to help offset that.
Absolutely. And I mean, you guys can check out our website, but we work on so many different projects, from like reforestation projects where we're helping plant trees to different like ocean cleanup projects. We're kind of across the board with the things we choose to do. And that's been a really awesome way to also just integrate like my passion for just like humanitarianism and environmentalism with the business and have it just feel really fulfilling.
I think that's so special. And yeah, our members might think they're just getting something to help with their period cramps, but they're really helping
Planet.
They're helping the world.
Yeah.
They're helping the climate with that. So I think that's something that's really amazing to support, especially I think like as an individual, it can be so overwhelming of like, oh my goodness, like there's so much going on. Like what could I do that's really going to help when it seems like such a large problem? You know, like I guess like, do you have any advice like to, as someone who's like really passionate about that, like what are some like tangible things that, you know, an individual can do to really like make a difference?
So I feel like what makes sustainability so like frightening to people is that there's this feeling of like, I have to do it all or I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
And like, therefore I can't make a difference. And I think it starts with really little things, like even just deciding where you're going to shop and, you know, using your purchasing power as a consumer to pick things that you feel like maybe have certain certifications, or even honestly, if they're not a sustainably made product, picking things that you're going to wear more than once, picking things that you're going to use for the rest of your life, and like starting to build a capsule wardrobe, really thinking more about what you're consuming. And I think that's a really easy step for people, and one that is accessible. And I feel like that's like, I think making sustainability accessible is so, so important, because otherwise it's like just for like the granola girl who we love, but also that's not everybody. And it has to be, sustainability has to be for everybody.
Exactly.
I'm so curious. Who's the granola girl?
The granola girl. The granola girl. I don't know. We love her. She's our girl. We love her.
Okay.
She's one of our girls.
She's probably like does yoga.
She's me like 3 days a week.
Got it.
Yeah, she goes to Erewhon.
Yeah.
Like,
she's Erewhon, yoga, Burning Man.
You're talking about like a
CMOS.
general.
CMOS.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought this was like a TikTok.
CMOS, Whole Foods. she's me.
Got it.
It's me.
Okay.
But
Understand.
3 days a week.
But you know, I feel like that's like, okay, that's sustainable of like 3 days a week.
3 days a week.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
you gotta
it's
just.
all about balance.
It is.
You gotta do it all. It's fine.
Yeah. But I think that really making it accessible in like that sort of description totally makes sense because, fast fashion is and like trends. I feel like, especially with TikTok, trends are getting pushed out. I just saw something that like coquette is out. I'm like, I just thought coquette is in.
You're like, I just bought a bow.
Yeah, I just bought a bow, like in pink and everything. And so it's hard. And I can understand how if people like wanting to like be a part of that and keep up with that, they're just getting these fast fashion things and those aren't always the most sustainable option. So even if it's not something very sustainable, but something that'll be sustainable in your wardrobe and in your life. And doing research on you and the brand, the thing that I was really excited and interested about was your partnerships and giving clothes like new life and also partnerships with places like Poshmark. Like, talk to us more about that.
Absolutely. So we have our own peer-to-peer resale marketplace, which is something that I'm so happy that we have. We've had it since 2020. So we were definitely like an early adopter to that idea of empowering your customers to, hey, you're done wearing this, time to sell it to someone else. And it's a way for us to have like an owned experience of, yeah, you could go sell it on Depop or Poshmark, but you can also sell it through us. And then we also do partner with Poshmark to do live in-app shows, which is something that's really fun for our team. So we have so obviously we have our warehouse, but then we have some inventory that just kind of bounces around for photo shoots or for, whatever it is. And so sometimes when we have like a couple things that we've collected, we'll do a Poshmark live show, which is so cool because it lets us like connect with our community more. Poshmark has a huge community of people who really want to shop secondhand. And I think that really thinking about fashion in a circular way and empowering people to know what to do with their clothes when they're done with them is important.
Yeah. And because I feel as a female, and this could be anyone, like with clothes, you go through such different eras of your life and finding your style, and whether that's like a student, a young professional, a working girl, a mom, like athleisure, like keeping up with trends, like there's just like so much clothes and you feel bad because like you want to keep it just in case, but then it's not being used and it like, then what? You don't know if you should donate, if you should sell, is it worth selling? That the peer-to-peer aspect does seem so attainable and to help letting, if something doesn't fit anymore, just like not serving you anymore, just knowing that it's going to a good place and not just dumping it off in a bin and not really sure where it's going.
Totally. Another thing we've done with our community, which I think is really fun, is hosting clothing swaps.
Oh, cool.
Because then it's like,
So fun.
hey,
Trading.
come hang out. Let's all meet each other. Some of it's Wolven stuff, some of it's other stuff. You can just like style with our stuff. And it's a way for our people to get to hang out with each other. And also like, we're creating that environment for it to not just be like, oh, this is a pain. I have to take pictures of clothes and put them online, and then it feels
I'm
like a
terrible
chore.
at admin.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
Yeah.
this is a fun event. Let's go to a party, and I'm gonna get cute new clothes. It's great.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's a great transition because I wanted to ask you more about like the Wolven community. FabFitFun, a huge, big piece of who we are at our heart is the community, shout out to the community and the members. And it plays such a big aspect of like who we are, what we do, why we do it. Like, it seems like Wolven, like community is also like at the center and the heart of what you guys do. And it's like cool to hear that you guys have like the peer-to-peer and the events, like anything else, like describing like, the Wolven community.
Yeah, so I built Wolven on the road, literally living in my car, going from pop-up to pop-up, doing Wanderlust Yoga Festival, and then meeting yoga studio owners on the road, selling them stuff out of the trunk of my car.
That
and
is
so
insane.
I
That's
built
awesome.
the community like IRL. I literally rented out my apartment, lived in my car, and that is how I started the business.
Wow.
And so like our community is a very real community, I think, because it was built on the ground at events in person. And then, we grew that way. And through the pandemic, when everyone was at home and,
needed
feeling
community the
isolated.
most.
Yeah, we did daily yoga live classes. We had like tons of resources for our community on how to navigate the pandemic. And I think that was something that made our community even stronger.
Yeah.
And it's always just been a huge, huge part of the brand. Like Wolven is about our Wolfpack.
I love that name.
I was just going to ask you about it because I'm on your site right now and I see the Wolfpack blog. Ah, sweet.
Yeah, and that's exactly where a lot of that content lived, where it was like recipe ideas or just like at-home yoga practice, breath work, how to navigate anxiety through the pandemic. Like really, like Wellness with Wolven is a huge segment of our blog, and it's a big part of how we feel we can give back to our community.
Yeah, and I feel like it really builds that like authenticity and that trust and just that two-way communication, because I'm sure like their feedback really shapes how, you know, you see the brand and like upcoming things as well.
Absolutely. And for us, it's like, we're not just here to sell you something.
Yeah.
That's not our mission, right? We are here for the community. We're here for the sustainability. We're here to make clothes that make people feel empowered and for them to be able to wear art and to care about the planet and educate them about that. So it just feels like so natural to the brand.
Yeah. And those are the types of brands we love to support here at FabFitFun.
Did you already talk about the name?
Wolven?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
No.
that's a step. Well, one, coming from my job, which thank you. That's a great question.
Well, because I was so curious because it says Wolven and then it says Wolfpack. So that I had a feeling it was something to do with wolves, but then the Wolfpack confirmed it. So now I'm really curious.
Okay, great question. What Step said? Tell us more.
So initially, I was playing around with the idea of like, we used to be woven threads, right? And now we're just Wolven. And when we were woven threads, my idea
All your clothes
was
are
like,
made out of wolves.
yes, all my clothes, yes, because we are vegan. So of course, all of my clothes were made out of wolves. And that was the whole thing. Thank you for telling my founding story. I'm glad you got it. No, I wanted to I had this idea of weaving like Eastern and Western culture together, right? And I set up my first supply chain in Pakistan. So I went I dropped out of college, I went to Pakistan, I had like 5 tailors in like a small room, and that was like my first supply chain setup. And I wanted this idea of like just weaving these two different worlds together. And then instead of like woven threads, the idea for Wolven came from like, okay, I want that community piece. I want something that feels like value aligned. And I feel like wolves are a really symbolic animal. They're pack animals. Like they're all about their tribe, your pack, right? So that felt really like true to what I wanted for the business. And then we dropped the threads a few years ago. So now it's just Wolven, but cool. That's where it came from.
Very cool.
Wow. I feel like we're all part of the Wolven Pack.
Yeah, Wolfpack.
Very cool.
So what did your parents think when you dropped out of school? Like, or your friends? Like, were I'm like, girl, are you okay? Like,
no, I have like the best parents ever. Like they were super supportive. I walked out of a critique in college. So I went to school for painting, and I had this project, and the feedback on this project was like, this looks like something that you should sell at Target. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go do that. So
great money.
Yeah. I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's not an insult. I got it.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So I walked out and I flew home to my parents' house, and I was like, hey, I'm not going back to school. And then the next week I was on a plane to Pakistan, and I set up my first supply chain.
Sick.
How did you know like how to get started? Like how did you start your supply chain? How did you find the people?
I didn't know what supply chain meant.
No,
Yes.
I was 22. I didn't know anything.
Oh my God, what was I doing at 22? I was at Saddle Ranch.
Yeah, no, I didn't know anything. I knew I grew up spending summers in Karachi, and my mom wears like all custom clothes. So she wears like shalwar kameezes, like traditional Indian Pakistani clothes all the time. And so I would go like to the fabric market with her, and she would pick out fabrics and she would design your clothes. And even as a kid, like I would kind of design clothes that would match my mom, and then I would make something that matched my stuffed animal. And it was like really fun and cute. And I realized as I got older, like, wow, in the US, you don't get to do that. Like, you can't just go have something custom tailored. Like, that's so elite and expensive and not accessible. And so I realized that was something really special about my upbringing. And so I think I knew, okay, I know how to make clothes. Like I had taken sewing classes, I had kind of done that piece. Then I took a textile design class, so I learned how to like put my art onto fabrics. And so I was just like, all right, let's go try it.
And then like using like recycled fabrics and
in the
all of that.
beginning, my first collection was all organic cotton. And then I realized like, okay, I really want this girl who goes like from beach to brunch, like that SoCal lifestyle. So I want her to be able to, jump in the water and then also hop out of the water, dry off, and go like grab a mimosa with her friend.
Yeah.
So that's where I shifted to the recycled PET. And now we have reintroduced some more natural fibers back into our product offering just to have a little bit of everything.
Wow. And at any point of your journey, because like, you were so multifaceted, there's the painting, the fashion, like the yoga, the singing. Like, did anyone ever tell you to like pick a lane? They're like, hey, like you're doing a lot. Like what's the vibe? Like,
so I think I did pick a lane. I think Wolven has been my lane for a very, very long time. But I think that I created something that lets me do a lot of different things I'm really passionate about, right?
Yeah.
Like there are beautiful photo shoots. I get to design clothes. I get to design the prints. I get to design the ad campaigns. We have a really cool website. We have that community piece. So those are all things like I have a very, very small team.
yeah.
Those are all things that I'm very involved in. And so they're close to me. So I get to do everything I love.
That's amazing, because I think that scares people sometimes in terms of advice of what should I do. They feel like they have to do this or that, but that doesn't mean like you can't take a path and that can't like encompass so much of you and your interests, whether it's like involved in it or, side projects and things.
Yeah, and I think for anyone who's like looking to be on an entrepreneurial path, you got to make something that is the things that you love doing, because otherwise you're not going to want to do it for that long. Like that's your reason to do it, right? It's like, hey,
So true.
make your dream job, because
Yeah.
it's going to be so much work. So you have to be like really happy to be doing all the things that you're doing.
Passionate. Yeah, I feel like people are in these, they see these things of, oh, if I do this, like that could just be fast, quick, easy. It seems like there's a need for it, which, sure, there could be a need to do something and to, sell something in that way. But yeah, if you don't have the passion for it, it's not going to have that longevity or like really be meaningful to you. 'Cause
Yeah.
so much of our lives are work.
Absolutely. And when you're a startup, it's like you're working all hours. I mean, for me, building the business, it was like, okay, I got to talk to the manufacturers in India. I got to talk to the manufacturer in China. I have to talk to ads guy who's like in Russia. I have to, you're up all the time. You're working all the time. So if you don't really like it, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
You have to be behind it.
As you were, building this Wolfpack and these great products, who have been some of your inspirations, like beyond, your culture and your family? Are there any other entrepreneurs that you really look to that were like, okay, I, really love what they're doing, their hustle, or that took inspiration or motivation from?
Yeah. So, I mean, on the sustainability side, I feel like Yvon Chouinard is the founder of Patagonia. He's iconic, one of the coolest founders ever. Really, I think, set the gold standard for what it means to have a sustainable business and also for what it means to care about your team.
Yeah.
His book, Let My People Go Surfing, is a really cool book. It's all about like
Adding that to my
your
list.
people, it's cool. Add it to your list, definitely. So that's probably my number one. And then I also look at a lot of smaller like Indian designers just to see what they're doing with like textiles and kind of be able to bring that cultural influence in.
Yeah. Amazing. That's so beautiful.
I'm looking forward to when you start the men's line called Wolfpack.
Yes.
Just let me know if you need any ideas.
Oh,
Throw you
I
a
will. We get messages a lot that are like, all right, Kiran, build Wolven men out. We're ready. Because I mean, I think in men's there's some brands that are really great if you want something functional, but like we could own the Prince piece and that would
Yeah.
be fun. Like you're a guy going to a cool concert or like just,
Yeah.
beach vibes would be
'Cause
fun.
you definitely have
golfing.
you have a few items here for men.
We have a few definitely, and men's is something that we're excited about.
Okay. Wink, wink. Maybe an Easter egg, which to my next question. So right now when we're filming this, we're halfway through the year. We're going to be getting excited for our fall box. But like, what is next for you guys? Like, do you have any upcoming projects you're excited about or initiatives for the rest of 2024 or 2025?
Yeah, so we have some really cool new clothes coming out, which I'm very, very excited about. And actually a big part of this trip is like doing some of that content. So that's something that we're really looking forward to.
Exciting. And anything else, for our members that, there's just so much choice when it comes to products, whether it's shopping, the FabFitFun, sales, customizing the box, or just like out with e-commerce or in the stores. Any other, remaining plug of, why Wolven is special and like your products and this wrap in particular, last elevator pitch to our members of why they should pick this.
I mean, the wrap is just something you need. I feel like it's the heating and cooling element is amazing. The fact that it's sustainable materials is obviously awesome. But beyond the wrap, I think some of the other products that we have, like our 4-way tops, are really cool for your customers to try. Ooh. So they're front to back reversible and inside out reversible. Ooh. So you get 4 tops in one, which is really a big thing that we're known for. So that like sustainability through design, again, another multifunctional product is something I really encourage your customers to try.
Wow, I feel like you just blew my mind.
Yeah. You can wear the top every day of the week to work
literally.
And nobody would know.
Nobody would know. And it's cute because most of them have like kind of a sexy side and a more sporty side. So there's like that you went to your workout class and now you're going on your little brunch date. You can do both. You don't have to change.
Because we are sporty and sexy.
Okay, and then inside. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put out.
I love it. And you're supporting a really amazing female founder, small business as well. So there's so many great products for our members to choose from, but I always think it's special when we can support, see the face, the name of like who we're supporting with the brands and the products, and a very cool and motivational and inspiring female founder.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you. And where can we follow you in the Wolfpack?
So
online?
You can follow Wolven just at Wolven on all social media. And then our website is wolventhreads.com. You can follow me personally on Instagram at Kiran Jade or on LinkedIn at just Kiran Jade.
Woo! And maybe check out Spotify, SoundCloud.
Coming soon!
Thank you so much. Follow Wolven and follow FabFitFun as well, and comment and email us, write to us if you want to see more Wolven in FabFitFun products, sales, and other topics that we can discuss here on What the FFF. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.